Kia ora e te whānau. I'm Pamela Bell. I'm the Chief Everything Officer here at the New Zealand Institute of Building. And thanks for joining us today for Light Lunch. It's your 15-minute quick snack where we get to introduce two amazing people in the construction industry. And today I'm joined by Mariana or Mari Richtman and Tommy Honey. So I'll ask them to introduce themselves. Mari, you first.
Hi, my name is Mari, and I work for Love as kind of like a pre-construction engineer, digital manager. Originally, I'm from Brazil, so I speak a little bit of Portuguese, Spanish, and obviously English.
Nice. And where are you based, Mari?
So I'm based in Dunedin at the moment.
Awesome. And Tommy?
Kia ora everyone, Tommy Honey. I am the Executive Director of the Construction Industry Council, a membership organisation of 34 other member organisations and institutes, including NZIOB, among others. But I've had a long career, initially as an architect. I describe myself currently as a reluctant architect. I'll come off the bench, but only if I really have to. But that doesn't stop me being interested in all things construction, building, design, and beyond.
Wonderful. And some of you might recognise Tommy's voice because for a long time he had a stretch on Radio New Zealand's 9 to Noon doing our urban commentary.
14 years. Oof.
That's quite the time frame. Well, the good news is this one's just 15 minutes. Yep. And so we'll launch straight into it. For those that have seen or heard Light Lunch before, we like to do an equal mix of things that are happening in the industry right now, and we'll add all the URLs into the show notes so you can follow them up. And also the other part is, of course, the more human aspects to these wonderful people with us today. So little insights into how they stay sane in what is a very complex commercial construction industry here in New Zealand. So Mari, first up, can you please tell us 3 things that are keeping you awake at night?
I think, in the industry for me, generally it's all about communication, coordination, and to be honest, I'm an avid supporter of the whole BIM world. And then because when you're constructing, a lot of things change and sometimes it's not well communicated or you have problems. We've been trying a lot of different technologies in the company, and at the moment, I would say the best ones we're using, it's Open Space. Open Space is a software that you can actually walk around, and it kinds of tags where you're walking on a layout plan. It shows, and it records. It's a 360 camera. It kinds of records everything, and that's used, for health and safety, and you can do progress claims. The client can have access to what's been happening day to day. We've been using also Timescapes is another software that's quite growing in the market. It's a camera that's 24/7 plugged on site. So basically you decide how long is it gonna take a snapshot. It's just a snapshot, it's just a photo, but you can also view the site from anywhere. And we've been using a lot of Trimble Connect, because I think there's so many softwares in the market. You've got Revisto, you've got Revit, you've got everything, and we need something to share the model, and we want to share what we have it from our consultants, from our subbies, and some of the projects we've been doing, even though it's not been deliverable, we want to share. We want you to be able to go online and check it, and I think that's where we are heading at the moment.
Awesome. We'll be really digging into a lot of those digital productivity tools that you're mentioning at the upcoming Build Up event, which is mid-March in Auckland, Tamaki Makaurau, along with the sponsors there, Autodesk, Procore, Revitso, and many others. Yeah, so it's good to know about everything else that's out there. Certainly the open space one sounds like a massive time saver. Cool. And Tommy, what 3 things construction industry related are keeping you awake at night?
Well, and the main one is how can we build up the sector? Did I get a good plug in there? Build up. My first real issue is that stopping is easy, but starting again or maintaining momentum is really hard. And this current government has told us what they going to stop in the first 100 days, but they've created, I think, a vacuum in the sector where we don't know if they're going to stop certain things, what they're going to replace them with, whether, you know, they're stopping or constraining things like the construction sector accord or projects for Kāinga Ora or other things. I think it's really, really hard on the industry to say, stop things immediately and we'll tell you in 6 months what you're going to do in the future. The sector's like a flywheel. And it takes decades to build it up its momentum. And if you stop putting energy and ideas into that flywheel, it will start to slow down, and trying to power it up again will take a long time. We know that in the sector, but I'm not sure that governments are really aware of that yet. Although perversely, one of the things I'm really interested in, this doesn't keep me up at night, this keeps me up during the day, is I would really love to build a flywheel house. And some people have been doing this, where they create a flywheel in the basement and solar power on the roof, and they just power up the flywheel and it powers your house. So it smooths out all the energy issues of either wind or solar. I imagine that you should also hook up an exercycle on it, and so you get your exercise, but you're actually keeping the lights on. So the second thing that keeps me up at night or has me thinking is about what AI is doing to us and what it does to trust and faith. And I saw a really great YouTube video about Sora, S-O-R-A, which is not out generally yet, but you should look it up. It's the sort of ChatGPT latest version of creating entire videos that are all AI, and where they've come from in a year is amazing. If you want to get an understanding of that, the best thing to do is to go to look at a YouTube video by Marcus Brownlees. That's M-A-R-Q-U-E-S, Brownlees. Fantastic reviewer, but he's really explains the impact of this and what it will do to us. And my third one, which is an idea that bounces around, you know, I really love what we can do collectively in the sector, which is why I love the job I'm doing now. And so you might be aware of how crowdsourcing is about the wisdom of the crowds, and I have a lot of belief in that. But I'm also really interested in crowd sorcery, which is the magic of the crowds. And so we need to think about what magic we can create in this sector, what wonder we can do in our environment through working together, not individually. That's 3, done.
Nice. And there's a bit of a theme in there. And picking up on that magic one in AI, I was just experimenting yesterday with Canva. Has got a new AI output called Magic, which is pretty fascinating. There's some free parts and there's obviously some paid parts. We had a team co-pilot demo here just a couple of days ago. So we're all looking at how we can use AI. I know there's a lot of text to text, but this text to imagery, text to video is going to be really groundbreaking, isn't it? Mm-hmm. On the good news story of that first point you had, I know you and I and several other people have been into Parliament several times and meeting Ministers Pink, Bishop Simmons and so forth around what training, construction, infrastructure pipelines look like. And the consolidated or coordinated and collaborative message is, yes, please give us some vision for the future. And we are certainly talking to Parliament about how industry and government work together, regardless of what it's called. And there's a good history of that happening under all flavours of leadership. So we are definitely getting signals that there will be some continuing of that type of work. So that's all good. On the good phrase, Mariana, let's move into the quickfire wellbeing questions. The first one for you is, tell us about something you're reading or watching or listening to at the moment.
Oh, that's quite funny. I do like sometimes documentaries, just basic stuff. Like right now at the moment, I'm in love with those series, those unsolved mysteries. I just fell in love with that series, but I used to love watching Mega Builders. It's from Discovery Channel. I know it's quite cheeky, but it just puts me into that place. But because I've been down south just for the last year and a half, I think I got a lot into going out, doing more tramping in huts. And I got this book for Christmas, which was called A Bunk for the Night. And it talks about the history of the huts in New Zealand and this is something brand new for me. I've only been here for about 6-7 years, and now I'm digging into the whole history, and oh yeah, that was just great.
Awesome. Look, I think those camping, tramping huts are really close to the heartblood of New Zealanders. You know, that's something that's really important to us culturally.
You hear it a lot from
so
a lot of people.
Yeah, it's the bare bones basic. I think it might appeal to some of our more base Scottish instincts. Those of us who've come out on that journey. But yeah, there's something about just getting close to nature, isn't there? It's really good.
Yeah, well, it's something, I'll be honest, we just don't do that in Brazil. And you come here and, you know, you're able, like on my first trek, it was the Heafy trek. It's a 4-day walk, and it's just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good baptism. Tommy, that top question, reading, listening, watching, anything you'd recommend?
Watching Slow Horses, which yeah, I hang on every episode. I was so annoyed. They were coming out once a week. It's British. It's if you haven't seen it, it's brilliant. Sort of spy crime thriller. But I've watched the first series when I had COVID, and I immediately had to buy all 8 books that it's based on by Mick Herron. So that's also what I'm reading or rereading. But I'm going to run through a few other things I'm reading. This is Architect, Verb. There you go. Probably the best thing for an architect to be is to be a doing word, that's not a noun. Tiny Habits, if you haven't already been doing Tiny Habits with Mr. Fogg, and in a similar vein, 4,000 Weeks. Berkman will tell you how to sort your productivity out. I got this for my birthday. Dame Judi Dench on Shakespeare. I dip in and out of this. Love it. And I'm not sure if this is appropriate, but this is an Australian book. The Bible of Cocktails, Strong, Sweet, Bitter. Only out a year ago.
R18 content. Okay.
That's me from what I'm reading and watching.
Nice. Did you notice on that 4,000 Weeks cover that is without a doubt a picture of Lake Wanaka, and nowhere in the book is that referenced?
Right. There you go.
Okay, awesome. Mari, what's something you do for yourself to help with well-being?
So I'll be honest to you, I wrote it down because it's been a year now. I've been doing some volunteering in New Zealand, and I think that's one of the things I enjoy it. And I don't do it for any reason. I just joined it, and I've been part of Land SAR, search and rescue here. Especially came up through hiking and tramping, and you know, getting close to the nature. And I've also joined the volunteer fire and emergency brigades, and that's been great. But one thing we've done since I've been down here is I bought a little teardrop camper, so then I can just hook up to my car, and it's just a little car, and I just travel around and try to park anywhere, and just, you know, it's an easier way. I know it's kind of tricky because I used to camp, but like just set up a tent. But with a camper, it's easier, you know, it's hot down here and it can just rain out of nowhere.
Yeah,
those are the things that I've been doing.
Yeah, easy to tow. Well done. I have a caravan, but it's too big. I love your teardrop solution. And I guess with the search and rescue and the volunteering, you really need the support of your employer, don't you? Because as we're seeing in Canterbury, people can get pulled away for days and nights on end. Yeah.
Yes, and well, this is one thing Naylor Love does, and I hear that other companies do that too, is they give you a few days so you can do either volunteer training or understand when you are called out, when you need to. And I think this is great in New Zealand. Again, this is something I've never had in my own country.
Awesome. Tommy, just mixing it up a bit, either something you doing for yourself or a bit of personal advice or a motto. Would you like to give a bit?
I'm going to try and jump both of those. I love collecting tiny tools, and so this is tiny me. Yeah, see.
That is cool.
Yeah. This is one of my tiny tools, which is a wafer thin what do you call it? Calipers, vernier calipers. I can measure anything I want with these.
Wow, that looks business card size.
And for really serious stuff, I get involved with my, drill press. There we go. That's what I play with. But my motto, if anything, is it's something that follows on from productivity and thinking about how you can change your lives. Some advice someone gave me once is do the stop, start, continue. What are you going to stop doing? What are you going to start doing? And what are you going to continue doing? Make those 3 lists at least once a year, and that's as much productivity as you need to think about. That's my motto.
I love it. Mari, we'll give you the last word. Is there any piece of advice you wanted to impart before we have to stop this webinar?
I think I would just say it's follow the market, follow the technology. That's what we've been talking about it, and just be curious. I think, you know, the whole technology and knowledge never stops. And that's how, you know, you get into the market. It's how you see new things. And that's mainly the biggest part of my job. It's trying to follow up what's out there.
Awesome. On that Tommy's spirit of stop, starting and continuing, and Mari's spirit of curiosity, we're going to need to stop this webinar, but we will continue in 2 weeks' time because this is our fortnightly webinar. And I would encourage you all to be curious and start having a look at Build Up 24 if you haven't had a look already. March 14th in Auckland, Tamaki Makaurau. Thanks, guys.
Cool,
We'll
thank
see
you.
Thanks, Mari. Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you, see ya.
See ya.